Radio with B
and J.LOU.
If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't have no quote for y'all today. This is just more or less like try to do the best you can with the days that you wake up. Be blessed, be thankful, and keep it moving. You never know, your change can be right around the corner. So,
that is a quote.
Yeah.
That's where quotes come from, people's minds.
Whatever.
So that was a quote for the day. Be grateful, it sounds like you're saying.
Well, yeah.
But don't give up. Hold on. Help is on the way. Did you ever see The Preacher's Wife? With Whitney Houston? Whitney Houston, Denzel Washington, and Courtney Vance.
Mm-hmm.
I like that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. I might have to dig into the archives and watch that. 'Tis the season. I think they had a Christmas thing going. Yeah. I might have to go into the vault for that. Okay. Well, I kind of have an idea of where your mind is based on your words of enlightenment or your quote for the evening. It's almost 10 o'clock. We're getting it done. We're here. I think the daylight savings kind of.
Yeah, I told you that last week that it makes it feel later, but no, it's 10.
But as soon as we get adjusted to this, then it's time to change again.
I never get adjusted to the whole getting dark early. I hate that shit. Just give me my light. Just let me stay lit up. Meaning, don't let the sun go down until 7 or 8 o'clock. Just year round. Just stop fucking with it. I just feel more productive like that. But
I'll take this over. I saw it in a movie. I can't remember where they were. Was it Alaska? Where they had 30 days of 30 nights? The movie I watched was like a scary movie.
It was a vampire movie.
But they had 30 days of nighttime. I couldn't do it. That would drive me crazy. There's no sun. It's daytime, but it's dark outside. For 30 days? No thanks.
Wake up and you still see night, and then you work a whole shift and it's still dark. You go to sleep, it's still dark.
No. I need a transition in there somewhere. So I'll take this. No complaints. Well, we can go ahead and jump into what we're talking about on the podcast. A couple of things, but one of the things I was going to talk to you about the other day, I thought about it and I said, it slipped my mind. And so I remembered right now, the future of sports. This has been the quietest playoff championship year I've ever seen. And I do understand with COVID, but still, it's like we're in LA. The Dodgers won. I didn't know they did the World Series. The Lakers won. I didn't know that they did. And I don't even know what's going on, but I know that February is usually the time for the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, and the basketball season already started again.
Well, I don't typically keep up with that, but I see you watch the stuff on your phone more now than you did before. But what's the future of sports looking like? This is nuts. I do know that some things will never quite be the same as they were before. Just because, not for bad either. Some things, there'll probably be some improvements, or through this, you have to figure out this new ingenious way to get to your target group or to continue to stay open and service people. So there were some good things that came out of this. But for sports, no live audience. And like I said, this has been the quietest. How do you have a quiet championship?
Well, you got a lot of
like championship win, I should say, and we're in LA.
Let's tackle the first thing. A lot of people don't like LeBron, so they gonna shit on him whether he won or not. But because he won in COVID, the whole ongoing joke is this one don't even count. Put an asterisk by it because it was COVID.
Okay, but barring LeBron, what about the Dodgers, though?
Well, I'm just saying. And even with them, they got asterisks by it. It's Dodger haters out there. And I ain't even no Dodgers fan, but, you got haters of the L.A. Dodgers that's saying it's an asterisk by it. Y'all talk about the Houston Astros with the what's the name. So this is maybe they get back like y'all won on a COVID season.
Well, just give me some insight because I know you keep up with the sports and stuff like that. Was everybody still 100% healthy to play? Was it just minus the audience? I mean, was it still a regular game, just nobody watching it live?
Well, the thing is, specifically with basketball not right now, but when they was in the playoffs, the biggest thing that they said that was like the whole, I don't want to say advantage or disadvantage, But the whole thing was there was no crowd noise. So it was just almost like the pressure that the rookies normally would encounter going to another arena and people were yelling and making noise and stuff like that. That was null and void because there was no crowd. So now it's just you make a shot, you miss a shot. It's almost like you at practice. So the pressure ain't as intense. But when you got 20,000 fans in the arena and you're on a court that you're consistently on, you get to learn the basket, or, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to like when you're in a playoff game going back and forth, the travel wasn't there anymore. So you didn't have to fly to different time zones or whatever the case may be.
They played in a bubble, right? Was it like
they stayed there. They never had to travel.
So where was everybody playing?
Everybody was playing in Orlando.
So everybody came from wherever they were and played in Orlando.
They was in that resort. I think it was Disney Resort, and everybody had stipulations. Now, I do remember one of the players from the Houston Rockets. I think what was his name? Basically, he was an important cog in the playoffs for them. I still think they would have lost, but he brought some firepower for the squad. But because he brought in some female or whatnot that wasn't there, so as a result of that, they suspended him. So he couldn't play. Okay. So you got stuff like that. You got the crowd noise that's not a factor anymore. And then for it's just business-wise, how you just said moving forward, how it's going to affect sports, they ain't going to let that happen. Case in point, how they just built that big-ass stadium over there by Inglewood. You think they ain't going to try to fill that back up?
You think that'll be coming anytime soon
next
year?
It'll probably be next season or something like that. I don't think it'll go no longer than maybe a year before they say, we got to recoup. They spent too much money on that stadium for them not to fill it up.
Okay.
So that will be considered a loss right now.
So you think sometime like in maybe June or July, something might be happening up there?
I say, of course, all this season, you the one put me on the whole thing with San Francisco, I believe. They shut down San Francisco in terms of all physical contact sports. So the 49ers ain't even playing in San Francisco no more. I thought they was just going to cut their whole season short, but their home games is being played in Arizona.
Yeah, and they just did something today, too, with San Francisco, where now you are allowed to visit with one person outside of your household on a date, no double dating, but you can walk with them, do an activity, as long as you're staying 6 feet apart and you have your mask on, you can take hikes and...
Oh my God.
Now this stuff is starting to get kind of ridiculous, but yeah, so so you don't see the future of sports looking really grim.
No, because it's too much money in merchandise, ticket sales. And then overall, me being a former football player or whatnot, but obviously not to that capacity, I got to play college. It's nothing like playing in front of a crowd. Like, it just takes the whole element. It takes the whole element of way of competing to a sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still would play if the stadium was empty if I was fortunate enough to make it to that elite status, but you play it for the crowd in a sense.
So you would be upset with me. You'd be upset if I won this year. I would say to you, I can beat you in silence and with a crowd. Because when you said that thing earlier, not you specifically, when you're like, people are alluded to.
Using that as an excuse. I was one of those people that was like,
I
dude.
whoop you in silence and without the... So you need the crowd to win? Like, get out of here. I whipped you with the crowd. I've won a ring with the crowd, and I've won a ring without one. So I have range.
Exactly.
I got range.
Well, you will be one of them people that would embrace both sides and be like, you can say what you want. A win is a win.
It is.
Like you said, I dubbed your ass with a crowd, without one.
Yeah, cut it out.
But you have people that just make excuses for anything.
They're looking for a reason to be. The only reason you did it is because.
Right. And just to double down, it was the Lakers. It's a lot of people that don't like the Lakers, obviously. And then LeBron is here, so you know how many haters he has. And I ain't even like the biggest LeBron fan. I'm a fan of winners.
You're a fan of hard work.
Yeah.
You really, I think.
Winners and hard work.
Yeah, when you see it, you're like, I respect that man.
Yeah,
I respect him
a lot.
I've heard of his journey. I mean, I've watched you watch sports and just kind of delve into like the sports shows where Skip and Shannon are talking and Stephen A. Like, different things, just keeping up with it.
I have not been on none of that stuff.
No, I know not recently, but all the years I've seen you do, that's why I said, wow, this is interesting. This has been the quietest year in sports ever. And I thought about it when I looked at you the other day, looking on your phone, and I saw it, and I was like, yeah, I was going to talk to you about it then, and then I started doing something else. And so
they was so weird with the shit. I think some of the stadiums stadiums, they even try to create an atmosphere for noise. Just to kind of like
stop. Just stop.
It's like, yeah, we gonna create an atmosphere. I know you guys are used to the crowd, so we gonna try to make an atmosphere. I don't know how far that went, but
I can't even imagine what this is going to look like when everything opens back up and people don't have to wear them. It's like the lines at the movies and for sporting events and a concert. Oh my goodness. It'll be really interesting how they roll this out with the vaccine, and the jokes I keep hearing are people throwing up their masks like graduation caps. Like, we made it. We did it. You know?
Shit, why you tripping? I need to look at Ticket Stub or somebody got some stock, because I know they getting hit. Let me go buy some of that real quick before we go back up.
Yeah. Because those will be like gold. Girl, I'm going to a concert. And they probably have limited ticket sales, and it's only 100 people that are allowed. And I got, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the golden ticket. You know, like, I'm at the movies.
There is no bad seat, baby.
Yeah, exactly. I'm at the movies. Yeah. Rented out the whole theater.
For $130.
Yeah, I saw AMC for $150 for new releases. They had 20 people. That's the capacity for $149. But oddly, and it started to get frustrating because I thought that would be really cool, even if it's not 20 of us. Like, let's just do it just to get out. But I started to get a bit frustrated with putting my zip code in and finding an AMC in my area. Every time I would click one that it brought up, it's like, temporarily closed. So I'm like, it would be really nice and convenient if you would just highlight which ones actually have the rental available, you know, but that was too much like right. so it's like,
always make shit hard.
Yeah, I want you to work a little harder. It's like, and spend my money? Okay, no, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I'm just going to see what's on. Not just Netflix. You know, my thing is Tubi now. I love Tubi. You have the old throwback shows, and you can Redbox. I was in love with all that stuff before the COVID. You really had to be something that really made me want to go to the movies early in the morning. Like, oh, this is coming out.
No, you went out because that was your R&R. So
at 9 o'clock, but I'm saying before COVID, I was moving around like it was COVID.
You would go
to 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. showing.
You'd go
and the theater would be empty. They bring the food to us. We watch the movies. I'm coming out. People are at work. I'm going to the movies on a Monday or a Wednesday or something. So, yeah, it'll just be interesting to see. But the future of sports is not looking grim.
No, not to me.
He's like, no, they'll be all right. He's like, no, they'll be okay.
It's too many. No, to let those big stadiums go to waste with nobody coming in them, I can't see that.
It's too much money to lose.
Way too much money.
Team owners and everything. No, what? And the funny part is, even if they already get millions, I have billions I was looking forward to making on. It's like, but you're not losing. Yeah. I am. You have enough to sustain for the rest of your life. That's another topic altogether. Like, really? Wow. At some point, when is enough, huh?
Oh, man. You heard me just earlier today. With the knowledge I have, I don't even need $1 million right now. Not to say that my goal won't be to amass it if it's there for me to do it, to make sure that I can not only be financially free, but assist more people. Because the more finance I have, the more blessing I can be to people. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you give me a nice chunk of change right now, we can make it work.
Well, even with you saying that, we can roll right into the next thing I wanted to talk about, which is giving. And it's interesting because we're in the season of giving right now. Christmas, you know, everybody's spending money. People are spending money now like it's not COVID. I mean,
like they ain't gonna shut shit down again.
Well, the thing that is interesting to me, and I don't know if I was having this conversation with you. I think I came and kind of told you the tail end of it, but I started thinking about that too. All the restaurants, they're shutting down outdoor dining.
Yeah,
but you can go. Yeah, but you can go in the store and get your shop on. Are they sanitizing the hangers that the 20 people or 100 people before you touched? And like, you're not seeing that, but in personal care, the hair salons, outdoor dining, they're constantly. Even I saw when we went to the bank, there was a lady coming out spraying the ATM machines right out in front of the bank, wiping them down. So it's like, we'll shut you down, but you can come spend your money though. Target, the grocery store, Best Buy, all those stores are open where you can go in and shop with your mask on. So that was really interesting. But I was thinking about that. People are shopping. As I was told, retail therapy. Like, I can't do anything else. I'm going to spend money, which is nuts to me.
Yeah, that's got to be the craziest shit ever.
Yeah,
I'm not spending no money if I can't make it quick.
Yeah, but
Make it quicker than I spend it.
But some people get it and it's like water in their hands. They don't know what to do with it. They just spending it. But with all that, if we can't do anything else, we're going to have a good Christmas. I'll get that car note. I'm going to get it. It's like, so you're going to get a
you
car
don't even know
note.
if your job going to be there next year, man.
Yeah. What are you thinking? But with all that going on, the giving in a time of need, that's probably really interesting because normally there's a need all the time. But right now, with the whole temperature and energy of the world, the actual situation that we're in, how are you able to give in a real time of need? Or are you even open to giving in a real time of need? You know, there are people that are out of jobs and that open shut. I feel really bad for the people in the food industry, you know. They're there.
Yeah. But ain't you the one that told me that they decided to open it back up, though?
Well, they said they didn't have enough evidence to support there was a reason for closing them down, saying that COVID was spreading through the outdoor dining. So even though they said as of the 27th, the ban should be lifted, here's the loophole. Because it was a stay at home that was ordered, and then that came into effect as a part of it, the stay at home order can be extended on the 27th, and so the outdoor dining still wouldn't be able to take place because it's still a stay at home order. It's not saying that you can't dine outside. It's saying I'm telling you to stay home. You see the loophole? So it's really interesting to me because I'm just like, this is the most confusing stay at home, but you can go outside and you can shop, but stay at home, you can interact with one person. Well, that's based on San Francisco. Then they have different city orders because Orange County is ignoring the ban on outdoor dining, and you can do outdoor dining right now in Orange County. Manhattan Beach as well. They're just like, forget it. I don't know if they're going to be fined for it, but it's almost like we don't care. Yeah, it's Christmas time. We haven't been out all year, so they're still, and they've also set up places in Manhattan where you can sit and eat, you know, after you shop. So it's even like outdoor dining. And then like if you grab, I guess, a pretzel or something like that, you can sit and kind of eat and just relax in between going from store to store. So yeah, that's what's going on. But my main thing that I want to talk about there is, how are you feeling about giving in a time of need? Are you positioning yourself? Like for me, I'm looking even more so of how I can give. And I always say or stress, it's not always about you giving money. How can you give time, support, encouragement? Like, how are you feeling overall in your ability to give to anybody else? Not just your family, but are you looking at stuff like, dang, if I had it, like you said, if I had the money, I'm in a position to be a blessing.
I feel pretty good in my position to be able to give in different ways outside of monetary exchanges. Even with this podcast, this is a form of giving because we give a lot of gems when we have these discussions that maybe some people have it on their mind but don't have anybody to talk to about it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a form of giving. I'm just a book of information on certain things, and I'm willing to give it to whoever that's open to receiving, you know. And I'm not just running around like, yeah, I'm ready to give, I'm ready to go. Like, no, I still need some discernment from God to let me know where I'm supposed to utilize my gift, because you know just as well as I do that everybody don't deserve your gift. So just because you want to give doesn't mean that you should just be running around just giving it to somebody that's not deserving it.
Right.
So yeah, no, I'm in a good space in terms of that particular thing. I'm just keeping my ears open, my eyes open to hearing and seeing something that sparks interest. Like case in point, I had a discussion with you the other day about Lucid Lounge, which is for the new listeners or even for the old ones, but it's basically a platform where creators in the music world to be able to have a platform to tell people about their music. Case in point with lyric breakdowns, if you have a song that you want to break down and explain, or now even this newfound thing I was thinking about with producers, because they're an intricate part of what music is all about. You can't have an artist without a producer, so why not give them some shine too? So I was thinking about that as well, where it's like maybe I should come up with like this questionnaire, something real simple where they get to talk about why they got into music, when they got in it, how long they've been in it and stuff like that, and what keeps them going. Just different questions to let people know who they are, and then after all that they can tell people where they can find their music, etc., etc. So that's one of the ways that I've like, okay, well, I can give back that way. And even when we had that discussion, you told me me be mindful of who I do that with. It's like, yeah, don't just give any Joe Schmo the microphone to be able to, well, I do music, but then you look at their whole discography or their page or whatever, and it doesn't even show music. It just dilutes the whole movement. So I completely understood what you said in that capacity. And so that's where I'm at with it. Like I said, it's just a matter of having some discernment on where I'm supposed to be utilizing my assistance to help people.
No,
That's it.
That's great that you have the ability to see it that way too, because anytime you hear the word give, it's almost like it works with the hand is out for cash, like or somebody's reaching for their wallet. And I do think that there's so many other ways to give in this time, specifically now, because something so small can go so far. Lending of your talent. I was reading something where one restaurant, the doors are closed, but another restaurant, I don't know if someone gave them money, but they went and shared it with the restaurant down the street. And then because of that, and they put it on their page, and somebody that's a frequent customer there is a contractor, and they said that they would do any of the plexiglass, any modifications they would give because they really wanted to see the restaurant flourish after this. And then somebody else came forward. You know how it goes. It's like a domino effect. One person comes forward and it prompts another person to, and someone else is like, I could do this, and so on and so forth. So it's a good time to really reflect on how can you give, even if it's something as small as someone that is in your building. If you're in an apartment or you see the needs you've been seeing for a long time, someone where you see them go out and get their groceries, and you might ask, is that something you always do? Would it be helpful if somebody got stuff for you once a week for you? I go to the store, and again, you have to know where you at because you don't want to overextend yourself. The previous podcast we were talking about people are in the red and still driving, and that's likened to an oil light is on, you end up blowing the engine or a gasket or something. So you don't want to overextend yourself. But little things, you might make some cards with positive words of encouragement and send them to the school or something, or do something virtual. I almost thought, do they have to hose the cards down because it's so ridiculous. I'm like, will we ever be, how are you saying the mask and this and that? I'm like, you guys, we're touching food in the stores. People are touching the stuff that we already touched. Josiah was saying the other day, he was picking up ice cream in the store trying to figure out which one he wanted. And he said he thought in that moment, how many other people have touched the ice cream? And it's just like,
yeah, you can only control so much bacteria being passed, man. At the end of the day, you know just as well as I know, like, just wash your damn hands, be as clean as possible, but you can't control all that. I was talking to Seafood the other day, and he was saying something he was consuming that was helping him get rid of bad bacteria. He's like, but it's so crazy, man, because I'm getting rid of the good bacteria too.
Yeah, I've heard of that before.
So it's the same thing with the whole touching and sanitizing your hands, making sure the mask.
Well, here's the thing, and this is not my conspiracy theory. These are my thoughts. Vaccinations and all that stuff are like weakened forms of a virus. That's how it was explained to me. If it's something else or anybody wants to enlighten me, like, no, it's actually this, shoot us an email. But if you're injecting me with a weakened strand so that my body can identify with that in the event that it comes in contact with it again, that it makes sense to me. So you're coming in contact with stuff too. That's why your immune system's in place. It fights stuff off. Well, there are, like you said, some healthy bacteria and some bad bacteria. I think you coming in contact with germs, dirt, and stuff like that is kind of good to an extent. Like, you're not trying to, but in order for you to actually function the way that we do, you're coming in contact with smog, all kind of crap. So I think wash your hands, but also use some common sense. You should have been washing your hands before the pandemic. Some of these habits I'm seeing now, I'm like, well, after the pandemic is over, do you guys just go back to what you were doing before? Because you're doing stuff better now than what you were before. What type of cleanliness was in practice or in play before this? I didn't want anybody that close up on me in the store anyway. I didn't know it was 6 feet, but you couldn't be breathing down the back of my neck. I didn't feel comfortable with that. I just think a courtesy is that you don't breathe in somebody's face. You shouldn't go in any place hacking and coughing. When they say if you feel sick, stay home, you should be staying home anyway. You're gonna go in and you're wiping your nose and touching hand. Like, I think that should have been stuff that anybody was practicing before this happened.
Yeah, there's some nasty people in this world,
man. Look, which we roll into the last thing I had on my list of things to discuss. It was funny because it's like health and fitness. I saw a sign somewhere that said health and fitness, and I was like, aren't they the same? So I actually I actually looked up the word fitness. They're the same, right? Somebody might say, are you nuts? But I always thought health was doing anything to keep yourself together. So it says health definition, the state of being free from illness or injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then when I put in fitness, so fitness is the condition of being physically fit and healthy. So you see, I was like health and fitness.
Yeah.
When I think of health, I'll automatically think from the inside out. When I think of fitness, I'll automatically start thinking of weights and aerobics and yoga.
Or inside, outside.
Yeah, like doing things with the external part, like, trying to keep my arms together and my legs, sculpting and my abs. So just with everything going on, I just was like, the fitness part is good. And I think that's where you sweat out impurities. When you sit in the sauna, you open your pores up. I've seen people sweat colds and stuff out. But sweating is not like lifting weights and all that stuff. And I guess people can sweat from running and cardio and stuff like that. But as I was saying to the kiddos a couple of weeks ago, you can't fight off sickness with Jack in the Box and McDonald's. I just feel like your body doesn't have the right amount of nutrients, vegetables, vitamins to fight off anything you coming in contact with, such as flu, colds, coronavirus, whatever it is, because you're not working from the inside out. You look good on the outside, but the inside is garbage. It's just no good. I saw a heart encased in fat one time, and the person on the outside looked really good. So there's like, how's your heart? Was the caption, but their heart was like having to work really hard to push through all the fat that it was encased in, but the person's body looked really good, like fitness wise. Their body looked
working on them.
Yeah, so that was just something I kind of was sitting with. Well, how are you staying healthy during this time where we're locked inside, the gyms are closed, but that doesn't mean you can't stay healthy. You might not be able to stay fit the way you want because you may not have the know-how where you say all you need is some bands and the ball and you can go outside and lift a couple of jugs of water. I've seen fitness instructors or like personal trainers, they lift in water and jumping over bricks and like you can get your workout on anywhere. And for someone like myself, and I'm sure there are a lot of other people, it's like, hey, I had a little circuit at the gym. I got on that machine and I did 4 sets of 15, and then I went to that machine and I knew that machine worked the inner thigh. So they relied heavily on routine and the machines that make sure that you had the right form and all that stuff. So if you're one of those people, I'm raising my hand, I am, there's still hope because you can really be working on your health still at home. Whether you take in vitamins, getting your vitamin C, you eating your veggies. For other people, I like other things. I drink my celery juice and make sure I have a lemon every day with the alkaline, and I'm drinking plenty of water. Those are things like don't just kill everything off. And it's like I'm locked in and I'm ordering Postmates, every day, and I can't get to the gym, so why not? And it's like quarantine thick. No, because your heart, you could still work on
thick, all right.
Yeah, you can work on that. And if you are able to, walk around your backyard, take a walk or walk in place. I know a lady years ago, she used to go out and she had at least 4 steps in front of her house, old lady, but she would go up and down, up the stairs, down the stairs, and it was just 4 stairs, but you still getting your heart pumping and stuff like that. So that is what health looks like for me versus the fitness and stuff.
Well, it's definitely a difference. I remember when I told you when I was 19 years old, no, actually 18, 18. I was a freshman in college. I had just transferred to another school, and I had this physical education class, and they was like, oh yeah, well, this class we're going to check cholesterol. And I was one of those guys, if you looked at me, you would not be able to tell that I had such a high cholesterol rate.
If I look at you now, you don't look like you missed the gym at all.
I was 18 years old and my cholesterol level was at like 378, and they had to pull me to the side and say, hey, Mr. Lewis, if you continue at this rate, you'll be dead by 35. And I was like, what?
Do you even know what a high cholesterol looks like and a low one?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that for people listening.
Oh, yeah. So healthy cholesterol level is 200 and below.
Oh, okay.
So I was about well over 200.
Did you say 375?
Yeah, and then they checked it again and it went up to 4 at some point. So
Ooh.
I had to jump on some shit called Lipitor, Vytorin. All my cholesterol kids out there, y'all know who y'all y'all know about that Lipitor and that Vytorin. And then shit, I got on that for a couple months, and so it dropped it down. But I'm inquisitive to a degree, so I was asking like, yeah, how long do I have to take this? And they was like, oh, you got to take this for the rest of your life. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. And then I started asking questions. It was like, well, no, it's not that bad. So you have to take it 3 months on and 3 months off. I was like, why 3 months on and 3 months off? It's like, well, if you continue to take it, it'll eat your liver up. So I was like, wait. So wait a minute. You giving me something
your cholesterol's down, but
bad.
your liver's gone.
Yeah, so you gonna give me something that because I eat bad, but then you gonna give me some shit that's gonna eat my liver up. So I was like, yeah, nah. So I started talking to my grandmother and my aunt, and doing my own research, and so I just kind of backed off some of the stuff I was eating, and started intaking more oatmeal, fruits, obviously more vegetables, pretty much everything you're supposed to eat more of than the stuff like B said with the fast food. I ate crazy ass fast food. Like I told her, I would go to Jack in the Box. It'd be right up my street. Go over there and get 2 ultimate cheeseburgers, a large curly fry, and a large Oreo shake with a cherry on it. And that would be like a daily thing I would do. But because I burnt it off so much because I worked out and I played sports, it didn't affect me like
you
that.
were fit, but
yeah,
you weren't healthy.
Fit, but I couldn't figure out why I was tired all the time. Like far as cardio wise, like my cardio still to this day sucks. But a lot of it has to do with the intake of bad foods that's not digestible on an efficient rate, like your greeneries and your fruits. So
it's like clogging your arteries.
Oh
huh?
yeah. So I could never really get the cardio that I was supposed to have because I ate so bad. But I think I said this when we had the Thanksgiving segment. And like since I moved to LA and meeting this crazy person next to me over here, she has changed my diet tremendously. And don't get me wrong, I still do some questionable stuff sometimes, but to look at where my health came from as opposed to being in Texas, like I said in that segment, eating fried foods and heavy starches and all that stuff was just a daily routine.
2-3 times a day,
yeah, you can easily wake up, eat you some pancakes and some grits and all this with butter and bacon, and then come right back in the evening time and eat that same type of meal, but some pork chops just wrapped in grease. Rice and gravy,
macaroni and cheese,
or some greens, but not the greens that's healthy.
The ham hock greens.
They didn't basically took all the nutrients out of the greens. So yeah, it was just bad. I mean, it was good food, great food, but it's bad for you, in the long run. So
and anything in moderation is not bad, but you're gonna feel it because we feel it because we don't eat it all the time. When we do, and it's like, oh, we want some mac and cheese, or I want a really good piece of like fried fish or some fried chicken or just meat, period. Anytime I eat it, I feel it. It's sitting
heavy,
like it's sitting in there and it's moving in slow motion through my intestines. I can feel it immediately. I have to go the next couple of days where I'm putting chia seed on some honeydew melon or my celery juice. I'm on that, and it's like I can feel it sitting in my stomach. I read a while back it takes 7 days for chicken to digest, and I was told too that when you get up in the morning, the first thing you should do is drink a glass of room temperature water, because your insides, if you were liking it to a car, you need to like oil that lubes inside the engine and all the different pipes and stuff like that. Well, that's what the water's doing to the insides of your intestines and all that stuff. And it made sense to me because if you're stacking all this food in your body and you're not taking in water, but you're drinking soda and juice and all other kind of drinks that aren't water, I'm just thinking water's not sticky. And this is just my thinking. This is not something medically. I thought about it and I've actually experienced it myself, where it's just like, that makes sense. When I drink a full glass of water in the morning, and you should be eliminating at least 2 to 3 times a day, you just feel better and your body's pushing through. But imagine if it's it's taking 7 days to digest chicken, and you eat sausage McMuffin in the morning, 2 of those, then you grab a spicy chicken sandwich from Jack in the Box, or like you said, the 2 ultimate cheeseburgers and fries. Yeah, and then get a double from In-N-Out, and then the next day you do Popeyes, and then you do In-N-Out, and then Islands. You just grabbing food. Can you imagine how much backup, like the meat is sitting stacked and stacked on stacked on stacked in your intestines, and it's not moving? It has to be like a sloth in there. It's just barely anything.
Blood.
Yeah, so that's why it's like people feel bloated and they're constipated, and we can go into like getting too much detail where if your stool is smelling real bad, you kind of know, and you start seeing it in your skin and whites of your eyes. So back to my original thing, health and fitness. If you're in a house and you feeling like you can't do anything, you can still work on being healthy from the inside out. You could still be winning there. Not saying the bare minimum, but just a brisk walk, get your blood pumping, touch the toes, stretch. I found this thing, actually I didn't find it, my son recommended it to me. I looked and I love it. It's called Highway Fit. They have different levels, but just the basic one, it's almost like a combination of stretching and working out with no weights or anything, and it's got to be about maybe 15 to 20 minutes at the most, but you feel good after. Like, it actually stretches you out, and you opening up your chest, and they have some stretches on the floor. I mean, it's really good. Highway Fit, you can find it on YouTube, and the guy does all of it, and you just feel good after. And it's like 15 to 20 minutes at the most. You do that, you're done. And then you just working consistently. You put more time and effort into the inside. And when everything opens back up, you can hit that gym, if that's what you need to do. But I think that a lot of people may be feeling they're not where they want to be because they can't get to the gym. Don't neglect the inside. You could be working that out in the kitchen, killing the game. The 80-20 rule, 80% of the results you want as far as your body looking a certain way is your food. The food is 80, the gym is 20%. So start incorporating, if you don't have it already, some fruits and vegetables. And everybody's body is different too. Like we looked at The Rock. The Rock is killing the game with the meat and the bison, and he's got chicken, and then he has the rice, and he has a cheat day where he has 2 dozen brownies and 4 pizzas. and 12 pancakes. So
I don't even know how you eat all that shit.
But
he's a big man.
We looked at it. He's working out 4 or 5 times a day. I mean, his body is his work. So to each his own. But I still think everybody should focus on, even he's doing it. He's incorporating where it's broccoli and different things. I know that he's got some vitamins and stuff he's got to be taking as well. And not just vitamins. He didn't even have seasoning on the food that we saw. I remember the guy that was with him said, no soy sauce, no nothing. He was like, no, you just eat it. And it was like broccoli, a small portion of rice, and like a piece of unseasoned chicken breast. So health and fitness. Don't forget about the health. The fitness part is what I think you're looking at when you see people like, oh, they're so fit. Look at them jumping over the boxes, and oh, they sculpted. Her body is nice. Well, look at his back. I think that's the fitness part. The health part is the part I think that a lot of people just incorporated. Like, I'm going to the gym, I'm healthy. It's like, nah, health starts at what you put in your mouth. Yeah, what you put in your mouth can determine what your insides are looking like and how much work your heart has to do and stuff like that,
In fact, I would almost agree that the health is more important than the fitness part. Fitness overall is just honestly for you to feel good looking at yourself in the mirror, to me. I mean, it does no good to have the...
And to get catcalled every now and again because you want somebody to be like,
Yeah, it does no good
silly.
To be like that and be passing out and shit from walking 10 stairs.
Yeah. You're right. With all the plastic surgery and stuff, which is a whole nother topic altogether, you don't know who's fit or who's not.
Boys
that's
getting
the fit.
I've never thought I'd see the day where men are implanting 6-packs in their stomach.
Oh, they have the chest implants too, and the biceps.
Yeah.
Remember the guy we saw?
Cheating,
he got his butt done. He had a butt. He was walking on the beach.
Cheating, man. That's all I can say.
I'm not going under the knife for anything other than I had to do it with the pregnancies, But other than that, I don't want to go through the recovery. It's just, I'm not going to say it's not that serious. I just feel like you can't fight the inevitable. You're going to get older. Even if you walking around, the maintenance on some of that stuff too is a lot. Maintenance meaning like, remember we saw that thing where they were pushing the liquid out of the person that had I guess I don't know if it was a 6-pack or the way they had their stomach sculpted, but They can't just get the surgery and it's like, boom, I look good. There's maintenance to that.
And this is the last thing I'll say about it. What most people don't understand is, or I feel like they don't understand is, yeah, you can go get all that, but if you ain't gonna work out and keep it up, then what's the point of doing it anyways? In my opinion, I don't think you should be doing it because it's a danger to you. You may not survive the surgery. But in the event that
the
you
recovery
do it,
part, yeah.
But in the event that you do it, because I don't judge anybody for their actions in that regard. But even in the event that you do it, what's the point of doing that if you ain't gonna try to keep up with it? Because at some point, your habits of what you had before, bad eating or whatever the case may be, you gonna go right back to what you was before. This is a temporary fix.
Well, I know why they do it. They do it for a little revenge type stuff. Just a little revenge.
Yeah, and on that note, I ain't got nothing else to say about that.
Well, if you do want to get a visual of what we're talking about, look at Botched. I think it was Botched Bodies.
Yeah, Botched Bodies.
Ooh, we saw some stuff on there, man. It's like, ooh, they don't show you that. We just keep seeing the people that actually like, hey, we don't get to see the horror stories. But if you watch Botched Bodies, you'll think a whole nother way about those surgeries. And then maybe, again, you weren't because you want a little revenge type stuff. You want to go back and get a little revenge on people. You know, I don't know. I'm just being silly.
I don't know if they go together.
These are our little inside jokes from watching Paternity Court. We got to stop. Well, that's a wrap for us. If you want to keep this conversation going, you have any questions, comments, concerns, suggested topics, you can shoot us an email at realfitradio@gmail.com. Our podcast drops every Monday. You can catch a snippet of the latest one on our Instagram at RealFitRadio. If you're not following us, you definitely should be. As always, we hope this inspired, impacted, or empowered someone. Until next time.